Oh, welcome aboard, everybody. It is Thursday. It is the 26th of May, and this is Just Parlays with Chris King. I'm your host, Scott Steehn, lead handicapper at WHINERS.com. What's going on, buddy?
Not a whole lot. Apparently, the Bengals, the Reds, after getting a safety in the second inning, took the ensuing free kick, went down the field and scored, and they went for two. So it's now 10-3 in
Blowing them
favor of
up.
in favor of the Reds in the battle of. Oh, these guys are pitching good, so everybody should take the under game.
Yeah, that's that. Well, the nice part is, it's a reverse rocking chair if you have the under. You're beat early and you didn't have to worry about it, so you can still sit in the rocking chair just with that not that fine feeling of having won your bet. And
it's like somebody tipped the rocking chair over on you, and
Yes, you're the cat with the tail instead of the guy in the chair. Timmy Earl in the house. What up, Tim? Good to see you, man, and good to see everybody else that's out there in video land, podcast land, whatever. It's good to be here. We do want to remind everybody, while you're watching, just take a minute, move that mouse around, hammer that thumb, hammer that like button. We appreciate the effort. And, of course, we want you to subscribe to both of our YouTube channels. What? 2 YouTube channels? That's right.
That's how talented we are. We have 2.
That's right. Can't contain all this talent in one YouTube channel. It have to have 2. Of course, the Winners and Winers YouTube channel you probably already know about. But if you haven't heard, we've also joined up with the folks over at Picks and Parlays to form the Max Wagers Network, and we're over there as well. So make sure you subscribe to both of those channels. How can the Warriors not diminish?
It's a new word.
Speaking of expanding your vocabulary, how can the Warriors not demolish the Mavs tonight? Asked John Cena.
They could just not get on the bus.
Yeah, I kind of think the same way. I think that it should be a pretty one-sided affair. So that's without knowing what you've got lined up as far as the slides go, Chris. I never want to see the slides in advance. I never want to go rolling in and already have an opinion formed. I want to see them for the first time.
No, see, that makes you different than Jim. Jim always went through all the slides before the show.
Yeah, no, I've because we talked about. Well, the difference is, I've pretty much looked at all the games so far.
True.
In the course of my actual job, I've done the research and I've seen the game so
Your
far.
actual job.
Well,
you're just freeloading here.
No. As opposed to Jim has an actual job that has nothing to do with betting on sports.
Right.
Is what I'm saying. His job is kind of overseeing the whole department, where my job is to come out with picks for this show, for Scott and I's show, for my own show, and for my premium pick. So, I've a good chance I've already seen the game that you're getting ready to talk about. So,
and John, the best answer to how the Warriors cannot demolish the Mavs, look at the guy above you in the comments and watch for him to say the Warriors are going to win after he was on Dallas for the whole series. That's what happened in Game 4. Tim all of a sudden flipped from Dallas on the whole series to Golden State, and then Golden State lost.
He jinxed us. He absolutely jinxed us.
Speaking of jinxes, Tim, are you concerned now about the Mets pitching after watching Bassett get lit up and then seeing what's his name, Thomas Sapuki or whatever his name was, get lit up yesterday by San Francisco? I mean, we've talked about being -3 starters. Scott, if you were the GM of a team, would you be concerned if you're probably your 1, 2, and 4 starters maybe? Because, I mean, McGill kind of took over the one spot at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly cause for concern, and I don't know. You have to look at the prognosis for the top 2 guys for sure, for DeGrom and for Scherzer, and to see how long they're going to be out, and see if you can ride the wave. They've got a 4.5 game lead in the East.
Is that what it is now? Is it 4.5?
I think that's right. I may not have checked it in a couple of days, but I know they've got a decent lead for this time.
It's 7, actually.
It's 7? Okay, so they've got the biggest lead of any team. That's right.
Yeah, so you are correct.
Can you ride it out? Can you ride it out till you get those guys back? Or do you have to start pressing a little bit of the panic button, like you're saying, and make a deal? And, teams that know you're in the doghouse, that know you're behind the 8 ball, they are not going to do you any favors when it comes to a trade.
Right, because you're down now. They're saying right now that Scherzer is looking at early July.
Okay.
DeGrom is late June, probably at best.
Okay.
And McGill, they're saying early June, but, it's a bicep issue, so who the hell knows?
And who the hell knows how good he is anyway? You know,
this is true as well.
With the whole season, he's not going to be. Is he going to be your third best starter? He may not be. So, you know, we'll see.
And now Bassett is dealing with a sinus issue, so they don't know if he's going to pitch Sunday.
Nice.
So you're down to what? You got David Peterson, and you've got Carrasco, and you've got Taijuan Walker.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got, what, a bunch of question marks. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if you give Sabuki another start after he was bad yesterday.
I'm sure that you have a choice.
Well, this is what I was going to say as well. You might not have another option.
Right.
That's what I was asking if Tim had any. Okay, Tim says he's not concerned right now. He said if they weren't up 7 games, he would be, but they have a little cushion.
Okay. Yeah, that's
so basically what you said.
See if you can ride that for a month. Is you're looking to ride a 7-game lead for about 5 weeks plus.
And if there, and you know, in that division, you know, you've seen leads disappear. Just ask the Phillies back in the. Well, I mean, you were knee high to a grasshopper then in the early '60s when they blew a 5 or 6 game lead in the last 10 days of the season.
Yeah, well, I mean, look no further than San Diego last year.
This is true.
Just absolutely went into the tank. They were battling for the lead, and they went from out of the playoffs. Yeah, went to out of the playoffs, and it wasn't really even particularly close. I love the conversation with John Cena, by the way. He says, love Chris King. Good dude. Next post. But I'm day drinking, so I love everyone. There you go.
Well, but see, he didn't say he loved you, so I mean,
yeah, that's well, we'll see how he goes. Maybe as the show goes on, he'll drink enough.
Or maybe he's just saving it for the 3:00 show, and then he won't say he loves Reichel.
Yep. That's probably what's going to happen. John Cena checks and goes, "Man, I love that kid, that Reichel kid, that Reichel."
And John said that the Mets are going to play wiffle ball and win 20-13.
Godspeed.
Are you going to play one-on-one wiffle ball, or I mean, you know, you're going to have ghost runners and all that?
Only in extra innings. Hey, I know we got a great deal going on over at Caesars. Chris, you want to tell everybody about it?
Right. It's still until they tell us differently. It's still the first bet insurance up to $1,100. So if you're a first-time bettor with Caesars and you place a bet up to $1,100, if you win, of course, nobody cares because you won. But if you lose, Caesars is going to give you an opportunity to make your money back by giving you a second opportunity by giving you a free bet worth whatever you paid out the first time. So don't bet $3 and then, you know, waste that opportunity. If you know, like Scott says, if you've got a big lock there, you know, well,
maybe you're on Golden State tonight, man. Maybe you're on those Warriors,
right? You know, throw down a big chunk of money there, and that way, you know, regardless of what happens, you're still going to end up with being whole at the end of the day. You know, we've got the list in the show box below. You have to go to Caesars, punch in the promo code ATS wins Caesar CZR. Like I said, it's in the show box below. And remember, you have to be 21 or older. Caesars has to be in the state where you live, unless you're in the states of New Hampshire and Wyoming, where you have to be how old, Scott?
12.
Right, 12, exactly. So I heard that they're talking about reducing it to 10 if you're over 4'7".
Okay, you must be this tall.
Exactly.
Very good. Bronco Devil, speaking of day drinking, says Escobar to Diamondbacks for Gallon. Sure, why not? I'm sure the Mets would take that. Do you see that as any kind of a viable trade, Chris?
I think if the Diamondbacks were to trade Gallon, that the remaining 8 or 9 fans in the fan base would go riot and try to burn Chase Field to the ground because, you know, they might get mad bum for him because, you know, Bumgarner hasn't been all that great.
But that's like the scene in Vacation when they're getting their car fixed. How much is it? How much you got? Pretty much going to be the way it is for Gallon. They're going to just sit there and keep asking for more. Okay, keep the players coming. All right. I'm sorry.
Or it's like Stu Nahan.
Yep. Let's take that.
It's like Stu Nahan in Rocky 3 when Thunder Lips comes out, you know, and they're like, "How much would it cost to get you in the ring with me?" He's like, would you start with Fort Knox?
Stu Nahan, perhaps best known for his stint in Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Was he in that?
Yeah, he was in his dream. He was.
Oh,
where do I get a gold jacket like that too?
I was like Stu Nahan. He was a good commentator guy, you know.
Ryan Page says, "Happy Top Gun Day. Going to see it tonight. Heading right into the danger zone. I see. It looks pretty good. I'm not going to lie. Not gonna lie, looks pretty good. We've heard pretty good reviews. Chris, you gonna go see Top Gun?
I don't know. I mean, how much can you really redo from this movie?
We're gonna find out.
And I like how Bronco said maybe half a gallon.
Nice. How do you not call this movie Topper Gun? That's all I want to know. Top Gun 2, Topper Gun.
I mean, it's like
even Topper.
I swear our audience is like watching Rob Riggle on Holy Moly. You know,
it's an underrated show, by the way.
Holy Moly, yeah, I like it.
It's actually pretty funny. So, Chris, I know you had a fine day yesterday. Hit a little 4-teamer that we gave out on the show. That's why people tune in. What'd that pay, Chris?
About a little over $1,400 on a $100 bet, so 14 to 1. We talked about the Braves over the Phillies, and the Phillies just find new ways to lose. I mean, they were tied, and then they threw a wild pitch that was nowhere near anything, and led to the Braves scoring a bunch of runs, one going away. Tampa Bay beat the Marlins. The Celtics beat the Heat in that game where we were talking about where offense was optional, apparently. Like I said in the third quarter, I don't know what was worse when I texted you and Rachel that Miami was 5 of 29 from 3, that they were only down by 4 points, or that Duncan Robinson was the third leading scorer at that point.
Bronco Devil wants to know, how do you not call any of the Bourne movies Reborn? Outstanding.
Or Unborn, I guess,
that's the prequel.
Oh, there you go. Unborn,
Preborn. So,
and the other game in that we talked about how Cleveland never scores any runs when Cal Quantrill pitches, and what happened? They scored 1.
Yep, that's right. It was a regular bounty for Cal Quantrill. He got 1 run out of him. Hey, congratulations. So yeah, there you go. And we should say before we get rolling today, parlays aren't for everybody. They're high variance. You may have 2 or 3 days where you get your clock cleaned, but then you hit a 14 to 1 and all is right with the world, and you're in positive EV territory. So,
or like earlier in the week when we had 47, you had one that would have been 77 to 1.
77. Yep. So yeah, it's we're not going to sit and say we hit these big ones all the time.
We don't.
But you hit them enough, and that's the key to hitting parlays. Can you hit them enough to stay on the positive side of the ledger? And I think you've done a fine job of that. Speaking of course,
of course, you can always just take the pets that we put in there, and if you don't want to put them as a parlay, just take them singly. Do it that way. Whatever's comfortable for you.
Throw one out. If you're looking at that 4-teamer and you're like, well, I like the first 3, that other one, I think these guys are drunk. Play the 3. Play a 3-teamer. There you go.
And that's why we give you the one at the menu at the end, because like Jim used to say, you take some from column A, you take some from column B, you make sure you got your duck sauce and some fried rice, and you're all set.
There you go. D from Detroit's checking in. What's up in Detroit, D? Good to have you here. Born again. Yeah, there you go. That's me. Clock is really shiny. I do not understand that.
And like Scott Nowak said, parlays are a cruel mistress. They are, but
they absolutely are. By the way, Scott Nowak, a guy that hits a few parlays in his own right. So if you're not checking out, there's a few guys that have just been on fire in the comment section hitting parlays the last few days. This week.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned somebody the other day. I can't remember who it was.
It was what the hell's the guy's? Oh god damn it, that's gonna frustrate me. I'll find it.
He'll probably show up. So
yeah, he shows up. He shows up every once in a while. But Nowak is a great parlay guy. Brian Gillihan.
That's it.
Brian Gillihan with a Y. I couldn't put it together, but there it was. So
and, we had Big Kev yesterday. He came back after he bought his girlfriend that TV after he had the win a couple weeks ago. Ryan's hit a few lately. So I mean, we got some good guys out there. Sly had one the other day.
Yep, beautiful thing. So
there you go. Ryan just said five tier for $8,000. Oh, there you go. Bronco said, since you said you can get your clock cleaned, he said that his clock is shiny.
Oh, okay. My bad. Hey, speaking of winning, I know everybody's. I'm sure they love our babble, Chris. Don't get us wrong.
I mean, come on, you got to, right?
Yep. And the only thing we want to do is I want to remind everybody of the great lineup over there at the Max Wagers Network. 12 o'clock, you got midday money with Sean Higgs. 1 o'clock. It
Good
is
dude. Good dude.
He is. We got to have him on either on this show or on me and Scott. We got to get all these guys.
He popped in here one day because we were talking, and I talked about how brought up a Wee Willie Keeler reference where, you hit them where they ain't, and he popped in out of nowhere because he was watching the show.
Outstanding.
So he was the Wee Willie Keeler of show guests.
Outstanding. Very good. 1 o'clock, Allie Burns. It is Morning Wood, of course. 2 o'clock, it's this show right here, Just Parlays. At 3 o'clock, it's me moving over to Studio B, recording with my friend Scott Reichel. 3 o'clock is Back to the Window. 4 o'clock is Sean Miller talking about soccer from around the world. And 5 o'clock is Tim Earl and his brother Nick, along with Detroit Lenny, bringing you Game Time Decisions. So there you go.
Gotta lose your mind with Detroit Lenny.
Detroit, rock Lenny. So now, babble's over. Time to step on the gas for the next 45 minutes. What do we got, buddy?
All right, well, we're going to start on the diamond as usual. We're going to go to the south side of Chicago, where it's the battle of the hosiery department. That's right, the Boston Red Sox close out a series with the Chicago White Sox. And for some reason, people think the White Sox should be even money with Boston in this one. Don't get it. Look at the pitching matchup. Michael Wacha, 3-0, 1.76 ERA, 1.011 whip, 14 walks, 22 strikeouts. Against Dallas Keuchel, who's trying to put together one of the worst seasons by a left-handed pitcher in recent memory. 2-4, 6.60 ERA, a whip of 2, and he's walked more guys than he's struck out.
Not good, Bob.
How does this guy still have a job in the rotation? Is Tony La Russa gone senile?
Got nowhere else to go, man.
Yeah, we know you don't have anywhere else to go. We get it. All you're gonna do is all you need is this dog and this, what is it that Steve Martin says in The Jerk?
Oh, when he just starts, yeah.
Yep. All I need is this crappy left-handed starter and this crappy bullpen and all these guys on the IL.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying the White Sox are probably overachieved last year.
We hear a lot about the White Sox hitting lefties, but you've got a stat on there that talks about how they hit right-handers. Spoiler alert, not well.
Yeah, and, I just can't put any faith in a team that's trotting out Keuchel at this point when he's averaging, less than – does he get down to less than 4 innings to start yet? Or is he pretty close? Let's see. He's made 7 starts and gone 30 innings, so he's going about 4 1/3.
Yeah, that is not ideal.
You look at his numbers recently. Last start gave up 6 runs on 6 hits and 4 innings. Walked 3, didn't strike anybody out.
And the no strikeouts there is definitely a harbinger of how bad he really is, right?
Because he did beat the Red Sox in Fenway back in early May when he went 6 innings, gave up 2 runs on 8 hits, struck out 5. He struck out 5 twice this season, which means in his other 5 starts, he's combined to strike out 6 guys.
It's dreadful. That is absolutely dreadful. Wacha has been pretty good. He gave up 3 runs in his first start. He gave up 3 runs. Never actually. I was sorry. I was looking at walks. Yeah, he gave up 3, but he's given up 2 or less in all 6 of his starts this season.
Yeah, he should have gotten a win in his last start, but they pulled him out 1 out shy because he had thrown 75 pitches in his first start off the DL.
Right. That's right. He was on the DL for about 2.5 weeks there.
Yep.
But he seemed to come back fine. Getting swing and miss on 8 of his 75 pitches. That's over 10%. That's better than his season average. So he seems to show no ill effects coming off the DL. Yeah, I'm a fan there. I think this White Sox team has been overvalued all season long. I'm sure it'll catch up with them eventually, but until it does, I'm going the other way.
Yeah, and you look at the run support, because we talk about that a lot. Wacha's gotten 5.47 runs of support in his starts. He got 1 run in his season debut back in April 11th. Since then, he's gotten 4 runs twice, 7 runs twice, and 8 once. It helps to have guys that can put runs on the board for you. And, we saw Boston put up 16 on the White Sox in the opening game of this set. By comparison, Keuchel's getting 338 for run support this year.
Yeah, that's and sometimes when you have a guy that's struggling on the mound, I think it seems to just demoralize a team. They just don't quite play with that same pep in their step when you get a guy giving up 3 or 4 runs in the first 3 innings, it's just going to be a long day. So I think that can ultimately make a difference as far as run support goes. I think sometimes that's just a self-perpetuating thing.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, the White Sox aren't scoring. We talk about the Blue Jays a lot as being a team that has a ton of talent. Don't put runs on the board. The White Sox are no slouches or as far as that lineup goes, but they're 26th in the majors.
Yeah, no excuse for that, none at all. And that you can point to that, and certainly let's be generous and call it inconsistency from the starting staff. Those are 2 big factors, and that's why the White Sox aren't in first place right now.
Exactly.
What else you got?
All right. Hey, look, we just talked about the Blue Jays being a team that can't hit. There they are. That's called foreshadowing, kids.
Surprise.
On the next ABC after school special. I'm going to go with the Angels here. I know Toronto's going on the road. They split with St. Louis earlier in the week. The Angels struggled a bit with the Rangers again. I can't figure that out. But they're still a good baseball team for some reason. They're 27-18, 15-9 at home. And I don't like Ryu. I mean, I always have a tough time trying to figure out how.
Ryu.
Yeah, okay. I always have a tough time trying to figure out how the name's pronounced. I don't want to butcher it. He's made 4 starts. His ERA is 6. He basically looks like Dallas Keuchel, only he doesn't walk as many guys.
Wow. Okay.
And it's Shohei Ohtani going for the Angels, 3-2, 282 ERA, 1017 WHIP, 9 walks, 53 strikeouts over 38 in the third. We talked, like we just said, the Blue Jays don't score runs. They're 25th in the majors, 367. They're 21st on the road. They still average 367. And Scott, what do you make of that? I mean, you got a lineup that's got Springer, and it's got Teoscar Hernandez, and it's got Bo Bichette, it's got Vlad Guerrero, it's got the other Gurriel. Why is this team not scoring runs?
Yeah, I don't really get it. I don't really understand why this team isn't doing better than they are. I mean, the pitching, you knew the pitching was going to be the question mark for this team, but you thought the hitting would be there, and it has not been. And they've, I don't know if these guys are going to get hot as the weather gets warmer, or what's going to happen. There are some real questions, because you can talk about scoring being down across the board, but you have to be able to score enough relative to what everybody else is scoring. It can't be down for you more than everybody else. And you've talked about 2 teams that really 2 of the most disappointing teams in the majors so far this season.
Yeah, I mean, they traded for Matt Chapman.
Toronto's still above 500, so I mean they're not.
That.
I think the White Sox have probably been more disappointing, but
I
wasn't on the White Sox to start. I had that team total under for the wins for the season anyway. So
yeah, it was under what? Was it 91 or 93? Because I remember
we thought it was 92.5 is what we were talking about yesterday. So the Toronto, they're going to play. They play in a tougher division. They're going to play tougher games. But some of these performances, when you're looking at Ryu, he had the most of his damage, giving up 11 earned in 7 1/3 innings to Texas and Oakland.
Yeah,
so
and nobody's talking about them as being the offensive juggernauts of Major League Baseball right now.
No. Now, I will say this about this particular game. Ryu was on the DL for about a month.
Yep.
And he came back, and he's made 2 very good starts since then. He's gone 10 2/3, giving up just 1 earned, 10 hits, 1 walk. So that's a whip of 101, 102. So
are you going to throw in the disclaimer?
What's that?
That the last start was against the Reds.
Well, I mean, the 2 starts where he struggled were against Texas and Oakland. So
true. Well, that's true. So
and
that's a valid point.
Reds have put up how many today?
Yeah, that's true too.
So, I mean, sure, there is that, but one of them was against Tampa Bay. So a team that can hit a little bit. So, we'll see. I probably don't like this one as much as I liked the first one. I think Ryu may have figured something out. I might give one more start to see how that goes and see which Ryu shows up for this part. So,
yeah, my biggest concern is I'm just looking at the hitters there. Bo Bichette's hitting 240. He's fanned 46 times and walked 9. They traded for Chapman. He's hitting $192.
Mm-hmm.
Gurriel's hitting 225. Teoscar Hernandez, he missed time on the DL because he's missed about half the season. He's hitting $152. I don't understand how these numbers. I mean, Marcus Semien couldn't have meant that much to this lineup. I mean, he's sucked in Texas.
Right?
Has he got a homer yet?
No, I was just going to say it's not only guys that still play for Toronto, it's guys that used to play for Toronto. The stench of Toronto is still on you if you've ever played there. Apparently,
yeah, good. He's hitting Semien's hitting $185. His OBP is 242. His slugging is 247.
Yeah, no,
you hit 45 home runs this year, and you're slugging 247.
Yeah,
I mean that's worse than a lot of pitchers back when the National League let them hit.
No question.
And Crystal just said she doesn't get the Jays either, and she watches them every night.
That must be frustrating. It must, because in Kansas City, we're kind of disappointed. We expect them to be a little better, but we didn't expect them to contend for the World Series. I think there's a lot of expectations on this Toronto team. So,
yes, yeah, I can't figure it out either.
I think Ryu may be all right. I really do. He was fantastic last year for him. He had that he had that forearm inflammation that he had to deal with. That had to be a problem in the first two starts. Again, you want to play the Angels here. There's some good trends in your favor. I'm just saying, I'm not quite sure. I'm auto fading Ryu. I think I like the under here better.
I'm just, like I said, I like Ohtani's numbers better than Ryu's right now. Like you said, he's pitched better since he's come back. I just needed to see him actually carry it over.
That's right. That's why I probably I don't mind the under. If you want to play Toronto team total under, I probably like that even better. But as far as the side goes, I'm probably sitting this one out and waiting one more start to see what Ryu does.
So that's another. The Blue Jays are in a similar situation to the Mets, where they're not getting. Well, in the Mets' case, it's injuries, but here Toronto's just not getting anything besides out of Gausman, really.
No. And, Gausman has been fantastic. I don't even know where this team would be without having him in the rotation every 5 days.
And Bronco said Ryu was his sleeper fantasy pick, and he was right because he's pitched like he's asleep.
I wouldn't dump him just yet, Bronco. I really think you're going to be. I think you're going to be okay. We'll see.
All right, you want to talk about some hockey?
Yeah, let's do it. Good hockey game last night, by the way.
A good hockey game for about 56, 57 minutes, and then Colorado decided that they were going to give up the tying goal.
Gave it away.
In the final minute, and then lost in overtime. Disappointed. I thought Colorado was going to put that one away when they were up 3-0. But we're back to the Hurricanes and the Rangers. Pivotal game 5 tonight, Scott. The series even at 2. The home teams won all 4 games.
Okay.
See anything changing here?
No. I like Carolina's, for whatever reason, has just been awful on the road, good at home. So I don't see anything changing. I'll tell you what I really like in this game. None of these games have gone over 5. How do you not play the under here?
Yep. I've got that down in the shot in the dark section. But
there you go. So,
last night there was one book that had the total at 5, and then they moved it up to 5.5.
Yeah. Okay. Shop those lines. Again, I'm a tightwad. I'm cheap. I don't love the 150. I think that's a pretty steep price to pay for 2 evenly matched teams. You're definitely paying for that home ice advantage. You're not the only one that's noticed. I'll just put it that way.
Well,
I'm thinking you in the collective sense as a better, not you individually.
Right. 150 is actually one of the better lines because it goes up to as much as 160 depending on the book.
I'm sure. I'm sure when you make the sheets out, you're not putting in the worst line you can find.
No, not normally. I mean, I could. I think that'd be entertaining, but
yeah. Having said that, I'm okay with it. It's hard to play a puck line in a game that is going to be low scoring or will likely be low scoring. So I'm a lot less inclined to get involved with the puck line. I think you hold your nose and you lay the $1.50, man.
Now Scott said he took the Rangers over 2.5. So Scott, are you thinking that the Rangers are going to win the game, or are you thinking because otherwise this one would have to end up over the total? I'm just curious because you look at the way the teams have played on the road in this series, and there hasn't been a lot of offense from the visiting team.
So yeah, you're just basically asking the question: Is it going to be a high scoring game, or are the Rangers going to win and yet it's just going to stay low?
Right, because you look here, and the visiting team in this series has scored a total of 3 goals in 4 games.
Not good. Not good at all.
1-0, 1-1.
Okay. A lot of trends that support that, but it basically comes down to the home teams have done very well. Goaltending's been outstanding on both sides, but it's been especially good for the home team. So,
and that takes us to what game, Scott? Do you know?
Is it going to be the NBA game, or do we have another? We have another
hockey game.
Oh, it's going to be the. It's the Edmonton Calgary.
That's right. It's the Battle of Alberta. The Edmonton Oilers looking to close out the Calgary Flames in the Saddle Dome. Edmonton up 3-1 now. They've won 3 straight after that low-scoring 9-6 affair in the opener.
Battle of field goals.
Yep. Mike Smith, he gave up a goal from center ice, but managed to survive that as Ryan Nugent-Hopkins scored, and then they tapped in an empty netter late. Jacob Markstrom fell off a cliff in this series.
He really has. By the way, Scott says just to score over 2.5. Says there got to be one high scoring game in there. Not a bad theory. Not a bad
That's
theory.
True.
So okay, all right. Nobody cheaper than Bronco Devil. By the way, when I said I was cheap, there's nobody cheaper than Bronco. All right, I'll let you have that. I'm not gonna fight you about that title, but if you want it, you got it.
And here you go, Scott. Here's a stat for you. In the playoffs, Markstrom against the Oilers in this series, 1-3. His goals against, 528. His save percentage, 85.
Well, like I said, I didn't grow up on the hockey rinks, but I do know stats, and I know none of those are good. None of those are remotely good.
He's given up 19 goals, and that includes when he got yanked in one game after two periods. So that was game 3 when he gave up 4 in the second. He got pulled then. So 19 goals in basically 11 periods. Not a number you want to look at when you're trailing 3-1 in the series. I'm surprised a little bit that Sutter has not decided that, hey, we're going to stick Dan Vladar in here and see if he can do something. Because, can you afford to deal with a guy that's given up 19 goals in 4 games right now, knowing that the next loss sent you to the golf course?
Yeah, I get that, but isn't he part of the reason you're there? Is good goal play throughout the season?
Right, but how many times have we seen a team play well in the regular season and completely suck in the playoffs?
Well, I don't know, man. I'm trying to equate it with other sports, and
look at the Blues. The Blues went from Husso to Binnington,
right?
When they were down 2-1 in that series to the Wild, and Binnington would still be in there if he wasn't hurt.
Yeah, that's true, but aren't those 2 goalies a little more on equal ground than the situation we have here with Calgary?
It's possible, but how much of that is because Vladar doesn't get as much time?
Well, I realize
he's 24, so he's still got the chunk of his career ahead of him. He was good in the regular season. He went 13-6-2 with 2 shutouts, a 275 goals against, a 906 save percentage in 23 games.
Okay.
I'm just curious, at what point do you go, well, this isn't working and we have to do something different?
Well, the problem is if you don't do it obviously before the game, once you do it in game, it's too late. Even if he gives up just a couple, I'm not talking about getting shelled and pulling him. I'm talking about, giving up 1 in the first, 1 in the second, and you're down 2-1. What do you do there?
Right. I get that. Too. I'm just concerned that,
would you do it? Would
I pull him?
Yeah.
If you're down 2-1?
Right now. No,
now.
Right
now, would I go to Vladar?
Yeah.
I think it could be a wake-up call. I would. At this point, you've got nothing to lose.
Game 5.
Yeah, but you could start Markstrom and get blown out in the first period.
That's true. Okay. All right. So you would give it a shot.
At this point, you have to do something to try and change the momentum, change the rhetoric of what's going on. And I just don't know if I think Markstrom, everything's in his head now. He's given up some bad goals.
That's certainly possible. I mean, it definitely seems when it comes to goalies, man, momentum is everything.
Exactly.
Momentum and confidence is everything. So, okay.
Did you have a lean either way on this one, or are you saying I'm not touching this game?
The under. I mean, I like the over. It's hard not to fade Markstrom at this point, man. It really is. Even though the Oilers are on the road, Calgary's going to be desperate. You know, all of those things that you normally hear. When you've got the two best players on the ice, it's hard to fade them, and they're playing good hockey right now. So
and like you said before too, they're getting help from other guys. It's not just McDavid and Draisaitl.
Right, and you had the weird outlier in the first game, and then after that, it's pretty much been Edmonton playing the way Edmonton wants to play, and just grinding them down and beating them over the last 3 games. I don't see any reason why that shouldn't continue.
Yeah, and that's been Calgary's problem. Calgary's best kind of game is what they played against Dallas. They're not equipped. They're not equipped to play an Edmonton type of game, and that's been their biggest issue. Because I mean, let's be honest. There's not a lot of teams that can play a game like Edmonton. You know, Tampa Bay probably can. Colorado can.
Maybe Colorado at times.
Yeah, but I mean, Calgary's not built for that.
No, they're not. You know. And you're gonna give me plus money with Edmonton, plus 135,
right?
I can't pass that up. I can't do it. You know, if it was even money, you go, well, maybe desperation, maybe home, maybe Markstrom's due, blah blah blah. But a plus 135, you're begging me to take that, and I will. I'm sure I could be sitting there trying to start the car with a banana in my tailpipe.
Look, man, I ain't falling for no banana in the tailpipe.
It's one of those. If it looks too good to be true, you know how the rest of that goes. This looks almost too good to be true right here with a team that's up 3-1 that has all the momentum, and you're giving me plus 135. Smells, but I'm going to step in it anyway. Give me man. And the over. I mean, I don't see.
Yeah, we haven't seen anybody stop anybody really offensively in the series.
Nope. Very good. What else you got? Got any basketball?
We got some basketball.
Any more than basketball picks, man?
Yeah, man. How about the Warriors and the Mavericks in Game 5 as we go back to the Chase Center in San Francisco? Dallas, won Game 4 thanks to Tim Earl saying that the Warriors were going to win. So everybody blamed Tim.
Thanks, Tim.
You look at it here. Ninja saying the Cubs and Reds are in a rain delay. If the game's canceled, does everything get voided?
Where are they at?
They're in the top of the 6th.
So here's how it works. If you have a money line play, you get paid.
But it's a run line that doesn't, right?
Or a total, obviously. I mean, not obviously. In a perfect world, they'd pay you on the over.
Yeah, because you already went over.
Uh-huh. It's probably one of the all-time ass fuckings in sports betting. When you've already gone over the total and the game is voided in the 6th or 7th inning because of rain.
Yeah, you would think that if it already went over, they should pay it out because it's not like you were worried that they might not get there. They're already past it.
You would think that, Chris, but the guys that write those checks at the sports books, they don't think that way. They don't think that way at all. So it must be a complete game to get paid on a run line and get paid on the total. So
there you go.
On the other side, by the way, have you ever been on the right side of one of those? Have you ever had the under in a game that went over and they got called in the 7th inning? I challenge you to find me one fucking person that's ever happened to. It's always the other side. Always the other side. So, sorry, that's my rant for the day.
Now, Scott, we'll go back into the musical annals of time here to sum this up. You're familiar with the For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge album by Van Halen, right?
Sure.
There's a song that has a lyric that says, "Dream another dream. This dream is over." That's Dallas, this dream is over.
Yep.
You got to the conference finals. You survived Game 4 at home. You looked bad in the first 2 games in the series at Golden State. It's not going to get any better here. I mean, can you sit around and reliably say, Finney Smith is going to score 23 points or whatever he did in Game 4, and all these other guys are going to put up the production that they had?
Yeah, you went from 3 guys in double digits to they have 7 in double digits, 6 or 7 in double digits.
Yeah, I'm just going to pull it up here. Dallas had, let's see, Doncic only had 30.
Right.
Finney Smith had 23. Bullock had 18. Brunson had 15. Kleba had 13. Dinwiddie had 10.
Yeah, so you had 6 guys in double figures.
Yeah, and Bullock went from going 0 for 10 from the floor to hitting 6 threes.
Yep, 6 for 10 from 3-point. That's all the quintessential 3 and D guy. So
Kleba was 0 for 5, and he was 5 of 6 from the floor. Went 2 of 3 from beyond the arc.
If I'm a Dallas fan, what I point to is the fact that the Dallas Mavericks out-rebounded the Warriors for the first time this series. They out-rebounded them 45 to 42. It's the first time that they've been within double digits, by the way, let alone out-rebounded them, and that seemed to make all the difference as the Warriors just didn't get second shot after second shot in endless putbacks. Dallas did a better job in the paint. Did they find something, or did they play above their head?
I think they punched above their weight class. If you look, Steve Kerr only played Kevin Looney for 19 minutes and 48 seconds in that game. So, I mean, it's like Kerr went away from what was working for him. It's not like Looney was in foul trouble. He didn't have any fouls.
No, they panicked. He panicked.
Yeah, he hit the eject button.
That's exactly right. They decided they had to shoot threes to catch up. So
I think if Kerr settles down, they're going to be playing in front of the home crowd and all that other crap. I think Looney should be back in there for, what was he playing? 29, 32, somewhere around that minutes wise.
Yep.
Take advantage of the size advantage because Dallas still is going to stick Dwight Powell out there to play 14 or 15 minutes and do jack squat. Because let's face it, he played 11:45 in that game and had no points, took no shots, had 1 rebound, and that's it. That's his stat line. 1 rebound in almost 12 minutes.
What are you doing?
Q Scott Reichel saying, I can do that.
I swear to God, he's in there just to jump center. He's just in there for the opening tip-off. That's why the reason he exists.
And I mean, if you want to have somebody, like I said, just put Marjanovic in there to jump center and then take him out at the first whistle.
See, I said this, that Dallas was either going to have to out-rebound them or they're going to have to shoot over 50% from downtown. Well, they out-rebounded them. They shot 46.5%. But they took, of course, they took 43 threes. That's kind of what they do, obviously. And enough of them went in at the right times that they were able to put Golden State away. I don't see it repeating.
I don't either. I'm
on Golden State. None of these games have been close. So,
and you take away Doncic's 3 of 11, and the rest of the team was 17 of 32. So the rest of the team outside of Doncic did shoot better than 50% from beyond the arc.
Yeah, fair enough. I think when I'm looking to make plays, I'm looking at what's repeatable and what's likely not repeatable. And you hit the 2 on the head to start with. Finney Smith putting up 23, including going 4 for 7 from 3, and Bullock going 6 for 10 from downtown. Those 2 things likely are not repeatable. Certainly not at the same time.
Right.
So, yep, I'm gonna ride Golden State here.
Me too. And then like we said, dream another dream. This dream is over.
Dream is over, buddy. Nice job. All right.
So that takes us to the fun part. Well, Bronco wants to know, is +7 too much? Or -7, I'm sorry. Is -7 too much?
No, I'm fine with it.
I mean, you look at the way the games have gone in the series, I think the smallest margin of victory is, 9?
If I recall, that I think they've all been double digit except 1.
I mean, Golden State won by 25, then they won by 9, then they won by 9, then Dallas won by 10.
Yep. There you go.
So I think 7 should work. I mean, if you creep up a little higher, then you might be a little.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay laying 7 here. Plus, if it's an elimination game for Dallas, there's extra desperation. You may get a foul or 2 in the last minute that you normally wouldn't get. Down 6, down 7, down 8. When normally they just let them play. You've got a 1 in a million shot versus no shot. So why not foul them?
Yeah, that's a valid point.
So what I'm saying is your scramble point window could expand from about 5 out to even 8 or 9. So yeah, I'm fine with it, Bronco.
Bronco says Dallas is more desperate. Well, desperation can do a lot of things for a lot of teams, and most of them aren't good.
Yeah, I mean, and they had the hometown behind them. They had the home crowd behind them the other night to kind of fuel them as they were able to extend that lead there in the first half. They're not going to have that tonight. So,
yeah, and you look, Dallas is only 26 and 24 on the road, counting the playoffs. So it's not exactly a number you want to lean on at this stage of the season. Oh, and Scott Foster's reffing tonight, of course.
well, and that would tend to lend credence to Dallas,
unless they just get blown out of the gym.
right? Not even Scott Foster can overcome that. All right, let's make some money.
All right. Well, we talked about the Angels and the Red Sox.
Yep.
We talked about Golden State and Carolina. I think if you run any of those together, you can mix them around. I know you're not crazy about the Boston one.
Nope.
Or no, I'm sorry, you're not crazy about the Angels one. I'm sorry. You like Boston.
Yeah, that's fine.
Do you think Boston's undervalued here? Do you think it should be a coin flip just because they're playing in Chicago?
No, I don't think anything involving Keuchel against a competent major league team should be a coin flip.
Would you call it a coin flip if they were facing the Royals?
A Keuchel against the Royals?
Yeah.
No, I'd give the advantage to Chicago because there's a good chance that whoever the Royals are throwing out there is every bit as shitty.
Well, see, the one time the Keuchel faced the Royals this year was when he faced Daniel Lynch.
That's right. That's right. That was the Friday Night Storm game. I remember that.
The 6-0 game.
Yep. But it was called early. That's what pissed me off about it. Was
it called early?
Is this the one I'm thinking of? I thought that was the Friday night game where we had tornadoes.
No, I thought that was that game against the Yankees. I thought.
Oh, you're right. My bad. That was the Garrett Cole start.
Yeah, Keuchel against the Royals. That was April 26th. He went 4 innings, gave up 2 runs on 2 hits. The Royals then scored 4 in the 6th to win, going away 6-0. That's when Lynch threw 6 scoreless.
That's right. It was probably Keuchel's best performance of the year, by the way. 2 runs in 4 innings.
He also walked 5 guys.
Outstanding. And you got to work hard. Walking 5 Royals is like walking 8 regular major leaguers. That team doesn't walk, man. All right, what's your other 2-teamer?
Like I said, Golden State, Carolina.
Yeah, there you go. All right, 4-teamer.
All right. I'm going to take the Yankees over the Rays. It's supposed to be Nestor Cortez, unless they've changed it again, because one site said, no, MLB still says Cortez against Ryan Yarbrough. The Yankees, they beat up on Baltimore. I mean, look, J.P. Sears got a win yesterday.
Somebody had to.
Yeah, this is true. But opener of a 4-game set, it's going to be a big series between the top 2 teams in the AL East. I just like the Yankees a little bit more here. Tampa Bay has to find a way to put up some more runs because they just haven't been great at the plate. They're another team that I can't figure out. Then we've got the Cardinals over the Brewers. It's Wainwright and Eric, don't call me Matt Lauer on the mound. Lauer's gotten a lot of strikeouts. I think a lot of that's helped by Angel Hernandez, who's been behind the plate a couple times when he's pitched. I like Wainwright a little bit better at home.
You don't believe in Lauer power?
No, not today anyway. And okay. I wasn't sold on Milwaukee. I mean, they put up 2 yesterday against San Diego. So then they had to fly from San Diego into St. Louis. The Cardinals had yesterday off. I think their bullpen's going to be a little bit fresher, and that could pay dividends late.
Okay.
Doncic over 34.5. We've talked about this before. Who else is going to score for the Mavericks that you can rely on?
Well, I mean, we just ran down 6 guys that put up in double digits, and you have to pick how many of those you think are not going to do it. So,
how many do you think are going to score in double digits tonight? From your opinion,
they've been around 4, so I'll give them one more. I'll make it 5. I'll go from 6 down to 5.
You think that many guys are going to score in double figures?
I think it's possible.
There could. And we talked about the Oilers.
Could be some garbage time involved there too.
Well, yeah, there's that.
Now, see, that's a decent parlay with that plus 135 thrown in there.
Yeah,
that's a get you a nice payout there. Yeah, it's I know Doncic's gone over that number every game but the last one, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm okay with that.
And he had 30 in that one.
Yeah,
despite not really playing much in the fourth quarter or not shooting anyway.
Right. Yep. Very good.
So that takes us to the giant Chinese menu, according to Jim Williams.
Welcome to Cheesecake Factory. What can I get you started with? You ever been to Cheesecake Factory, man?
Yeah, there's one up by the mall here.
Like it's like a fucking novel.
Yeah, you can knock somebody out with that thing.
I didn't want to read War and Peace. I just wanted to get some potato skins, man.
That's probably why nobody robs a Cheesecake Factory, because you could just throw a menu at them and knock them out.
Anybody just reach in there and just hit them with a menu. That's exactly
right. I'm going to take the Tigers over the Guardians. It's our good buddy Tariq Skubal going against Connor Pilkington. You know anything about Pilkington, Scott?
What the hell is that?
What's Connor Pilkington?
I got a little Pilkington on me. That sounds like a disease, man. I got Pilkington's disease. Oh, you're gonna need to get on some antibiotic for that for sure.
Yeah, he's made a couple starts in the majors now, sure. But still not sold on him. And we talked about how Cleveland has issues putting runs on the board. He's made one start, 4 appearances, 8 2/3 innings. He's got no record, a 2.08 WHIP, a 1.030 or a 2.08 ERA, a 1.038 WHIP. He's fanned 11 in 8 2/3, walked 4.
You know who's dominated his last 3 starts?
Are you gonna say Tariq Skubal?
I am gonna say Tariq Skubal. Yes. No earned over his last 18 innings. That's pretty good.
Oh, and did you see that the Guardians are putting Savali on the DL?
Of course they are. Good luck.
Yeah, they're saying glute tightness. No, it couldn't be because he's got a 7.84 ERA.
No, it's pretty tight glutes, man. I like this Skubal kid, man. We talked about him before. Big fan. He's really learning how to pitch. A couple rough seasons to start with, but that's to be expected. I'm with you. I don't normally make a habit of it of laying 140 with the Tigers, because I like money. But I think this is one of those rare exceptions.
Yeah, at Skubal, his ERA is 2.22, but his FIP is 2 even.
Yeah, he's got a 2.22 ERA and he's been a little unlucky. That's exactly right.
Yeah, and we talked about the long ball with him. He gave up 35 homers and 149 and a third last year. This year, 44 2/3 innings, 2 homers allowed.
Yeah, huge difference. I also wouldn't hate you if you wanted to just play the Guardians under. Full game under wouldn't be awful.
And Bronco said Pilkington worked at the Cheesecake Factory in high school.
That does sound right. That sounds absolutely right. I'm Mr. P. I'm going to be your server for tonight. Started with some drinks.
Mr. P.
He sounds like a kid that wear a lot of flair at the Cheesecake Factory. That's all I'm saying. All right, we spent 5 minutes on the first of these 10, so I don't think the math is going to work out for us, Chris. We're going to have to go a little faster.
Yep, I'm going to take the Rangers over the A's. It's Martin Perez taking on Frankie Montas. Perez has pitched really well.
Okay.
I look for him to shut down an A's team that doesn't necessarily score a ton of runs.
All right.
I'm leaning towards the Dodgers just because I like their offense better, but this is one of those games where you look at the pitching matchup and you're like, why? Like, why are these guys pitching?
Yeah, I've got a little different take if you watch my video. I at least like Arizona first 5.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that.
Mitch White early.
Yeah, I can see them banging on Mitch White, but then I can see the Dodgers coming back against the Diamondbacks bullpen.
All right, Chris doing a little day drinking of his own. What do you got next, buddy?
I'm going with Daniel Lynch over Devin Smeltzer.
I swear to God, I keep up with this sport. Sometimes I just think people are making up names. It's Pilkington Smeltzer. That sounds like a law firm.
The law firm of Pilkington Smeltzer.
Pilkington Smeltzer and Lynch. Plus 155 over the Twins, huh? Okay.
Yeah, this was supposed to be Joe Ryan's spot for the Twins, but he's on the COVID list, so they had to call up Smeltzer.
Okay.
But I mean, I like Lynch. He's pitched well, especially when you consider that he's being supported by the Royals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Smeltzer's made a couple starts this season. How's he been?
He's 1-0. ERA 174.
Yeah.
He's only fanned 2 guys in 10 1/3.
Not ideal.
Yeah, talk about a pitch to contact guy, and his FIP is twice what his ERA is.
I take his strikeout total over. Actually, Kansas City, they don't strike out. That's not.
Yeah, I know. I learned that before when I took somebody on a strikeout number against him.
Of all the things they do bad on offense, and they do a lot of them, strikeouts ain't one of them. They're a hit to contact. They don't walk and they don't strike out. They just.
Too bad there's no over under on pop ups.
No kidding. Okay, you know me. I'm not gonna get involved with the Royals doing anything.
I know. That's why I put it up there.
God bless you.
I'm
Mavs over. Yep.
Mavs and Warriors over. I think Klay Thompson's going to go over 18.5. I think, it's not necessarily a big number when you're considering, what he brings to the table.
Right.
And, they're going to try to contain Curry more than anybody else.
Okay.
I'd like Looney to go over 9.5 boards as long as Steve Kerr plays him more than 19 minutes.
Right.
Because,
Stop panicking, Steve.
Yeah, Steve, what the hell's wrong with you? Sack of crap. Like we said, Edmonton, Calgary over 6.5. And like we talked about the Rangers and Hurricanes under. I just think that, like you said, we haven't had a game score more than 5 in that series.
Right.
I know Scott Noack thinks we could go over that, and he could be right. I mean, he could have one of those games where suddenly it's 4-3 at the end of.
Especially if you're a contrarian, because everybody and their uncle is going to be on the under.
Right.
So if you're a contrarian, could be a great spot for you. Yeah. I'm just saying I'm looking at everything, and I think the smart play. I think mathematically the play is the under.
Yeah, and like I said in the pre-show, I went contrarian with the game that is now in a rain delay. It's because everybody's like, Hunter Green's great, Justin Steele's great. It's just no, it was over in the third inning.
No, so yeah, if you learn nothing else from our show, it'll probably go under, but it could go over. So it's those kind of hot takes that I'm here for, Chris.
Yeah, it's like the weather: periods of light followed by alternating periods of darkness.
Yep.
Might get some clouds.
So Draisaitl at a nice price there, plus 130. That'll stiffen up your parlay there. However,
yeah, and if you look, I mean, Draisaitl's been on a roll. I mean, I had him over this number the other day, and he had 2 assists in the game. I mean, Calgary hasn't found a way to stop him or McDavid. And if you can stop one of them, you have a shot. If you can't stop either of them, you have problems.
Yep. Can't stop, won't stop.
Yeah, in 4 games, Draisaitl has 2 goals and 11 assists in this series.
Very good. All right, buddy. Any final thoughts?
My final thoughts are enjoy the games.
Wow.
Golden State should win and close that out. And, like we always say, make sure you bet responsibly. We don't want to hear how, you literally bet the farm and lost.
Don't do that. You'll hate city life. Don't actually bet the farm. You'll hate it here. Bronco says I'm against contrarians. Okay, that's some funny shit right there. Are you laying that 140 straight or on a parlay? On a parlay, James. Everything you see here. I mean, you could. I wouldn't be against laying it straight, but that's about my limit with the Tigers.
Yeah, me too.
All right, guys.
I just looked at the pitching matchup and said, well, I don't like Pilkington, and I don't like the way the Guardians don't score runs.
Yeah. Can't argue with that. All right, guys, that's going to do it for the show. Another one in the can, talking about a whole bunch of parlays. We appreciate everybody stopping by. Once again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe. You know the drill. Check us out in podcast form. If you can't watch us live, you're in the car, kids are yapping, you want to get to the podcast, you want to hear some, you can do that. You can download all your favorite podcast platforms. All right, you guys have a great day. Good luck on all of your plays. Thanks for joining us again. Thanks for joining us again today. We'll be back to do it again tomorrow. As Chris and I will talk about everything under the sun, but we will concentrate on
just parlays.
Just parlays, baby. We'll see you then.